Okay. Yes. We're starting a concept, he says, of godless Rishon, trying to understand the language of the Rashash. He said, "V'techila yikaven shegavor v'choye b'kor kedushas hayom," which we understand that there's a chalois of that. He says, "Kav small." He says it's the left line of baga of the. He's small. He says the baga, the chabad v'chagad benai. It's the baga, the left line of each one of these. He's saying they're like partsufim and they have a left line. He says the shlosha partsufi kachav, the three different partsufim, I guess he means individually, keser chochma, bebida the chamisha partsufi de yasos, which are part of the five partsufim of yasos. So this takes some explanation. In baga the mochin panimium, also you're going to have the lights, and he's going to have a helpful definition, I think. I'm not sure if I can understand it. The three different slomim of the neshama chai yechida, which goes along with the idea of kachbad, then the ranchi of the light set, the neshama dema u ben the ben. Okay, that's all left line type conversation. Let's see what he says over here in the light print. So he said, "B'techila." To begin with, so we're going to bring that portion in of godless Rishon for the side of Ima, for who kav small, also known as baga, shehu muach habina, which is the muach that's in bina. So he said, the chabad chagat nai shehu kav small shel ha-chabad, also the chagat, and the nai, the hind the shehu baga. That is left line in all of these different places. So he says, v'keven shehu godless rishon, since it's aspect of godless, harehu nimshach b'shlosha partzufi kachav. So that's where you get godless. Shehem keser chochma and bina. Also, they're known Shehem Partsufi HaGadlus. This also refers to the oros that were in them, are the Neshama, the Chai, and the Yechida, in those highest place, the Chamisha Partsufim, the Yasas, of the five Partsufim of Yasa. So he says, Sham Shachazu, he Meshlosha Partsufim, really comes from those three Partsufim, and Benimim, which are the most interior, those Penimis Dika, Metoch Chamisha Partsufim Shal Yasos, that is the Nechi. So the Hanekroim parts of Haneshama, which are called the parts of Haneshama, Shechagadus Arishon Nimshak be parts of Haneshama, because it comes from the parts of Neshama. Now what we're looking at is the Ma part, that is the V'kan Mekuvonim as Chelik Amashabo Shuhu Yisrael Sava, Ves Chelik Haben Shalosh, which is Tavuna. So we have both of them. So number Pei Dalet, Im Baga the Mochin Benimim. So also it gives us some idea here, and I've been sorting out what goes on with the Tzadi, the Tzalim. So he says in the Lam and Mem, that is the Tzalim itself. Im Baga the Mochin Benimim, let's look at the light print. Bitoch Levusha Yasos, inside of the Levushim of Yasos, Nim Shokim Hatzlamim. So let's understand. He says inside of the levushim, that means the levush are covered over the tzlamim. So he says betoch levusha yasos nimshachim hatzlamim. So in the middle of the levush, you're going to find, or inside of the levush, you're going to find the tzlamim. A mamshik come as kav small. So now we'll start pushing down or flowing down the left line shel tzalim, the left line of the tzalim. Shehu baga shalo. So it's the baga. We're just talking about the baga of the tzalim. Ubekol tzalim, and of course, ubekol tzalim. Yesh es hamochim benimim shehem the tzad the tzalim. Of course, in the tzalim, the mochim bekifa, which is the lam and mem the tzalim. Bekol zechahu betzalmi neshama chayin yechida. This is all dealing with the slomim of the nechi. Shem Shlosha Tzalmei Hagadlos, which are in fact they're the three highest levels, and that's godless. V'Shlosha Tzlamim Elo Heim Partzufi Hagadlos, they are partzufim of godless. Metoch Hamisha Tzalmei Narantchi. So let me see this again. These are the 5 partzufim of godless inside of the Hamisha Tzalmei, the Tzlamim of the Narantchi Shel Parshav and the Shama Shuhu Yasos. So there's a lot in there. Just let me unpack it a little bit. So the 3 Tzlamim, which are going to fit inside of Levush, I think he's saying of Levush. Elohim Partzuvi Hagadlos, they're the Partzuvi Hagadlos. They're going into the top part, the Kachav. This is the top of the 5 different ones. Shall parts of the Neshama, which is the parts of the Neshama, which I wanted to see because you're dealing with the level of Bina, Shuhu Yasos, which refers to Bina on the male and female side, Hashayach L'Katnas V'Gadlus Rishon, which pertain to Katnas and Gadlus Rishon. So he says that's all there. He says V'Kav small Zehu B'Chinas Ma'u Ben Deben. So this is male aspect of the of Ben, and its female aspect. The Hainu Kav small the Yisrael Sava, and also the Kav small the Devuna. So Ma de Ben. So when it says Ma de Ben, who Kav small the Yisrael Sava, and so this explains this idea. And Ben de Ben is the Kav small the Devuna. Okay, so moving on a little bit more, let's go down to number Lamed. Number Lamed went on the phrase V'Techila, right? Ikamin shegavor b'choya b'kor kedushas ayom. Kosev Kama Rav Asher, he's Rav Asher Zelig Margolios, b'shem Rav Asade Zelashona. I thought Margolios was an Ashkenaz name. I said maybe not. So he says b'shem Rav Asade V'zal. Masha Kasa the Kaven Godless Rishon, the Achakar Kadless Rishon. Why we do that? Nidfes Betos, so that wrote that, he says that's a mistake. Fine, Bakdamas, apparently it was Akdama, we kind of skipped that Akdama. The king Kasa Bishar Gavanos also ki Hashinwe who rock Kos Rishon, that the time when you have a difference is only in the first cup. What does that mean? Of Ashar Gimel Kosas, but the other 3 Kosas, Kosa Lakadlam Kasedim, to have them in their order. I'm not sure what he means. Ad Kan Lashona, this is what he says. Vayim B'Shefa B'Hakdama, and on Os Lamed Zion, which is coming up. Shegavor Ha'arno Bazah, that we already talked about that. So I'm not sure what he said there. Number Lamed Vav, he says Kav Smol the Baga. It's the Baga of the Chabat, the Chagat, and the Nai. So he says, according to the way it really looks, he says, Masha Kosev the Chabad v'Chagat the Nahi who told Sofer shouldn't be here. Shaharikan ARI Rak al Lagad the Rishon Sheniknit b'Kedushas Hayom. So we're talking only about that. And then what actually comes in with the Kedushas of the Yom? B'im came ku kav small Rak shal partzi Chabad, partzufi Chabad. So it doesn't talk about the Chabad Chagat Nai. These are called, he says, this is also called by the name of Chabad, the Mochin there, or the left line, which is the Chabad line. Well, let's see, V'im came Chukav, small rock shell parts of Chabad. So we're only talking about the top parts of. So he said, of a Nikroim parts of Kachav, Hainu Chach, they're the same thing. The parts of a Chabad is also the parts of a Chabad of Kachav. V'lo kav small shell parts of Chagat Benai. We're not talking about that. So he says, he says, V'lechem kasabnos those besugrim, so therefore we wrote it, like in brackets, where it says up above, you can see that it says Achava B'Chaga Denai up here. So he put it in brackets. So let's see what else he has to say. But now that you're in a situation where you're not talking about the Chagat Denai, because they represent godness, we're talking about godless here. Girsa Bedochak, he could sabda the farish betiva kavana, so he that went out of the way to say shagavanos aloma shahakav small nikrabaga. Anytime that you have a left line, we're talking about it, it's going to be bina, gevura, and hod. The fishuhu kava smoli, because it's the left line. Shel Chabad Chagat Nai, of every partsuf, which is Chabad Chagat Nai. He said the Harel B'Kol partsuf of partsuf Yesh Chacham Bagadati. Every partsuf has the 3 lines. B'Hakav small, the left line, Nikra Baga. The Vishu Kav small Shel Chabad Chagat Nai Sheb'Kol partsuf. That's how he does that. Let's go to the next side. The next side shows us, and we're looking here to, again, try and get his language. He says this is a baga, the Mekifi Mem, the godless Rishon, the Yasos. Then he says the baga, the Mekifi Lama, the godless. You see that on the left side. We'll read it also anyway. And then we have the baga, the Tzadi. This is the part that goes in. Now when it comes to the Tzadi, he shows you the Kalim, everything that's involved with it, because he has the baga, the Tzadi, the Malchus Rishon, the Yasos. So this is the Tzadi. And we'll go over it a little bit. Let's just look real quickly over here at number Pei Hey. Number Pei Hey, first of all, the start we're talking about here with the Mem of the Tzlamim, which is the strongest of the 2 Makifim. And you have here the left line. So you have Bina, and then you have Gevura, and then you have Hod. And it's the same thing on the other side, because it's going to be a duplicate. It's going to be also the same lineup, but it's going to represent the Lamed Tzlamim. Now, so what you're looking at here is Zeranpin, I guess, being shown, shining on Zeranpin from the outside. The most outside part is the Mem Tzlamim, and then inside of that is going to be the Lamed Tzlamim, and then finally we're going to have actually goes into Zeranpin. Let's take a look at number Pei Hey and see if it can help us out. He said the baga the Mekifi Mem de Godless Rishon Niktis Kav small Chanikra Baga who Mur Chabina Shel Hamaki Elyon, which is called the Mem Tzlamim. Behemavaya ve'ekia b'nikud siri b'bina, of v'nikud shva b'gavura. I think that probably we know this. Of v'nikud kubitz b'hod. V'hu mur chabina chabishachal l'mochin the godless rishon. So these are the mochin of bina. So here he calls these are oros. So he's calling them mochin, but they guess that goes along with it. So he says v'hu mur chabina shel l'mochin the godless rishon. Hanimshachem mekachbad, the parts of Yatzav, which is coming from the top part of the parts of Yatzav. The Mekuvanim Shnei Pamim Es and the Ranchi the Baga, and we are also having the Kavana of 2 different times at the Ranchi the Baga, Echad the Yisrael Sab, of Echad the Tavuna. So you're going to have 2 of them. That's why in the Tamuna you have one on the right and one on the left. Now, I'm going to go over to number Pei Vav and not read it, and it's going to be the Makifim of the Lamed. And then we'll go over to the Baga, the Tzadi, the Godless Rishon, which is number Pei Zayin. And so once again, we see the 2 sides. One's for Yisrael Sab, and the other one is for Tavuna. All of this is coming in, and you see all these. This is the Tzadi of the Tzlamim. So he says, and he shows us here the Moach. So the Moach is basically Sag. And then you're going to have we also see that the Levushim are generally speaking a duplicate. They look just like the Moach. In between the 2 of them, the way that I'm trying to understand the Tzlamim. The outside part of the Tzlamim, where you have a tzadi that goes in and like that, that's okay. But I'm trying to see where does it actually fit together with the moach. And then this is apparently inside of the moach, or outside, surrounds the moach. And then the levush surrounds this. So this is what he's showing us. All the lights become encapsulated in this way. And then he shows the levush. Then we go to the Shlosha Kalim, the Bina down in number Pei Tes. 3 Kalim, the Bina, the Koch of the Bina, the Zah. So the Shlosha Kalim, these are the pictures of the Kalim that refer to the Koch of the Bina, the Zah. That is, he's looking at it like like a partzuf. Let's look at number Lamed Bet down at the bottom and see if I can get anything out of Levush. So Levush is also, he shows it to us like this. He says Shitas of Rashash, that is an Aleph K, Yud K, which is the gematria of Kasa. So Shitas of Rashash, the Levush Moach Habina, the Levush for the Moach Habina, who Shem Ekya B'milu Yudin, which is Kasa, became Kaman B'Gavolas Gadolas V'Gados Sheni shall Kos Hazeh. So when we think about Kadazed, when this goes, V'Derek Zeh Levush Moach HaChasan. According to this, then the Levush for the rules of the Chasan of the Das, who Ekya B'Milu Olofim Ha'Oila Kamag. So that would be that center line of the Vush Muach HaGavur the Das who Ekya B'mit Kulihe, and it's going to be like that. And if we looked at it, it spells Kona. So the Levush is going to change according to its status and where its relationship to its relationship. So therefore, in the Shar Kavanas, he shows you that there were three. Isa Shalavush Muach HaChochma, who is Kasa. The Levush Muach HaBina is going to be Bina the Keser, Bina the Chochma, or Bina the Bina. Maybe I made a mistake here. I went to the wrong place. V'levush Muach HaBina Ku Kamag. The Levush Muach HaDas is going to be Kanet. So he's showing you this Levush, and Levush is going to change according to where you're at. According to this, now that we have the Kvar, Nektar v'Sidurim Mekubal Ashkenaz, Amnam Arashash Birer al Pi Rayos B'Makomos, Acherech B'Divrei Rav. He says that we see that the Rashash actually, he really pointed out or refined out Pirish Rayos B'Makomos Acherim B'Divrei Rav. So the main thing is, according to this other way of looking at it, Acheres, Shlosha Muach HaChochma v'Chavabina Shavim v'Shnechem Chei B'Milui Kasa. Over there it shows them just a Milui Kasa. Muach HaChasandet the Das is Kamag, and Muach HaGavuras the Das is Konet. So that's what the Moach will look like. That's what he's saying. Now he says, we're going to move to page Shinayin Zayin. So Shinayin Zayin has what? He says, Lahashir Sham Mochin. So now that we're pulling all of this, this is going downwards. So it's going down into the Partzufim. And we see over here, and he says what you're going to do is going to get a Dechia. First it comes in the top, then you're going to get a Dechia, and it's going to Dechia Samochin V'Chanafra the Gvudavah. Then we're going to push these down. And once again, he shows you the Moach. And over here, he shows the Levush. So Levush is an Ekya. I don't know if I said this wrong before. I did say it wrong. Elif K, Yud K. And then we have also the same thing as a Levush. On this is going to be pushed down into the Shlosha Kalim, the Gevura, the Bina, the Zah. And we have a Kli Panimi, a Kli Soy. Kli Panimi, Kli Memsoy, and Kli Chitzon, and this is what they look like on the left side. Let's look at number Lamed Gimel. He said, "V'lahashir shama mochin the rantke the bina the v'chosa mochin the rantke the bur b'hod melishonu nira." So according to the way he said it, he says, "She'anachu b'oskim adach b'tekiyos b'tekiyos mochin." That what's going on now is the chiyus of the mochin. Behind the Erba Os Yud, so you'll see up above Os Yud, Mashach Arno Bazel, he said, the Kavar Hoyu Kol HaDechius Elu Kavar Bigadush as a Yom. So all of these Dechios already took place. So then he says, if that's true, Ulama Kasa of Dechius Elu B'Lashon Hava. So why does he say it? Like in the present tense. So we're going to have that Dechia. Then if we turn the next page and we read to the top, is the Hashir Shama Mochin on the Rantke, the verb of the Tchosa Mochin from the Rantke the Hod. And we're going to push everything down into the bottom of this, which is the Shlosha Kalim, the Hod, the Zah. So now we're moving on. I think we're really out of time, and that's the shear. But I'll just finish this little part out. Let's see how far it goes. Okay. So he says, so then after you have the Dekiya v'atachi yikaven lahamshech l'Nook, and then after the Dekiyas go all the way down into the parts of the Nai, he says then we're going to push them into the Nook. So he says the Nook. So he said v'ata yikaven lahamshech the Nook the fashav umisbar malchios v'demus. The baga, the kachav, the bina, the Yaakov, Rachel down into the left line of the kachav of the top part sufim, the bina, the Yaakov, Rachel, and we're going to put them into Yaakov and Rachel, which we understand from other places that refers to Malchus. So this shows you here, number lamadality shows you the baga, the godless rishon, the yasos, and this is what it looks like, the left line, going into their armpit, into the shlosh kli bina of the Nook. And pretty much there's one more here, and we'll just finish out with the V'lahasher shama mochin v'chadaranchi the bina, and we're to leave the mochin the bina there. L'chos mochin v'daranchi the gvura v'hod, talking about the Nook here, excuse me. And we see once again, picture this is hod. Excuse me, this is Gevurah, this is Hod, this is the Moach, the Levush, and this, excuse me, the Moach, and this is the Levush. Goes into these three Kalim. And he says, V'lahashir sham ha-mochim v'naranchi, the Gevurah, we're going to leave the Lechos ha-mochim v'naranchi, the Hod, and push that all down. And then ultimately, it's going to go to the Shlosha Kalim of the Hod, the Nook. And that's how far we got this year. We're going through all the different kinds of mochin that are coming in. The mochin of Godless Rishon, where we're stopping here, maybe it's this year, I'm not sure, is on Godless Rishon. This is Baruch Fleischman, your Saba here at the Tikkun elevator. Cool little.